Thank you very much for this invitation. My opening statement is about the need for a paradigm shift from sustainable leadership, which focuses on leading organizations to reduce, reuse, and recycle, to regenerative leadership, which invites us to rethink, restore, and replenish our relationship with nature. But what is regenerative leadership? So regenerative leadership is about finding the symbiosis between purpose, people, profit, and planet by creating life-affirming organizations. Life-affirming organizations have three characteristics as part of their DNA. The first one is about living systems design, which focuses on how we can design new products, services, places, processes with the use of design methods inspired by nature, and Anne gave us actually some really inspiring examples. The second one is about living systems culture, in other words, how we can make a shift from organizations which focus on linear modes of production, who are hierarchical and inspired by the machines, to organizations that are more agile, they're adaptable, and inspired by living organisms. And the third characteristic is about living systems being, and this is about us as leaders, how we actually can cultivate a different level of consciousness, not only mindset, but consciousness, in order to be able to move forward and look at fostering sustainability with different lenses. Now, the concept of regenerative leadership is fairly new. It's part of a new movement of thinking is business management, joining intriguing schools of thought such as conscious capitalism that some of you may have heard before, or actually Gary Hamel's work on humanocracy to replace bureaucracy in organizations. So how could regenerative leadership be a game changer in the fashion industry? I will just offer three examples. Firstly, by driving circular economy practices that recycle and repurpose materials. Secondly, by implementing ethical labor practices and ensuring a living wage and fair treatment to the world's 35 million garment workers across the supply chain, in line with UN guiding principles on business and human rights. And thirdly, by recognizing that growth can only take place within planetary boundaries. And this requires a shift from the ego to the eco, from consumers and producers to citizens and stewards, from fragmentation to collective action and setting industry-wide standards, from acting on nature to acting with nature, from fashion brands educating consumers about the impact of their purchasing decisions to initiating repair and resale initiatives. So concluding, I will borrow the words of Charles Handy. He's a philosopher and organizational cultural specialist who argues, and I quote, that we are now entering an age of unreason when the future in so many areas is there to be shaped by us and for us. So to address some of these challenges in the fashion industry, we need business leaders with bold imaginings who think the unlikely and do the unreasonable. And for us in business education, it is actually a duty as well as a commitment and honor to try to introduce new ways of thinking, to create those learning spaces for the future generation of business leaders to make these discoveries. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Brilliant.